Okay, it's Monday, January 24th. It's after the market closed, and this is a 15-minute chart of today's action on the SPY. And you can see here the market itself kind of gapped down. We went lower for most of the morning and then had a major reversal by the end of the day. And after we hit bottom, we came up all day. You can see here on the daily chart, it was a big green reversal bar. What that means, at least for the short term, is we should continue higher and take out this first high to broaden out on the daily chart. Again, the long-term charts are not quite turning up yet, but I think this might be the first actual reversal sign in the big down move that's been happening this year that actually might make some sense, because we've taken out, I'll show you in a minute, A, why all this move here was very predictable going down, and then B, why we've actually hit a point, given the broadening action on a lot of the larger time frames, where now we might be ready to reverse all of that and start heading back up. And you can see here, if we do head up tomorrow with a 2 up, which you kind of anticipate with this bar, you should broaden out with this bar, and then there's almost like a pivot machine gun thing happening here, where like for 5 days in a row, we could be taking out stops. All kinds of people who got short could be caught and just taking out stop, 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 and head up, up, up. And, you know, it doesn't have to happen that way, but it's a possibility to keep an eye out. But more importantly, let me just go over quickly. It's a recap, because I've made some videos, I think, on this index before. Why, when we broke down up here, it was pretty clear, given the way the daily prices moved, that we were going to be hitting lower targets all the way down here. And I'll show you why this was the key last target to hit. And that's why you're getting finally a reversal. You can see here, this is going to be a target. I'm going to show you on the blue line. When we came through it, we never even had an opportunity. It doesn't had an opportunity to reverse at all. We just sliced right through it. So that's why this target was pretty clear. Now, once we hit this target, which I'll show you is a major long-term target, and you have the reversal, that's the first sign that maybe the broadening action is over, and boom, we're heading all the way back up eventually. But it's going to take a lot of work. We'll get into that in 1 second. So getting back to the, this is the monthly chart. And what I want to show you, let's go to the weekly, because that's where it all started. Up here, when the market was making all-time highs, there was a small little pause week up here at new highs, and then you had the 2 up failure that led to a 50% rule sell right here, which meant you were probably going to make a 3 bar out of that little bar. And you can see here, after you kind of failed going up, immediately you sliced right through that low of that this is the weekly bar here. So we sliced through that, and now when you look at the weekly chart, you see at that moment we have a target all the way down to this low of this weekly bar. And that's going to be in place as long as the weekly chart doesn't turn up. You can see here it never did. I'll show you in a second why the daily chart turned up a little bit. It got right to that key level, 50% rule of that bar, where it had to break through to show you it was failing, and instead it turned back down. And that's why it was a great sell up here, to not only take out the intraday lows that were in place on the weekly chart, but then to move all the way down to this weekly target that started from up here, because you want this to broaden out, this high to make a new low here, broaden out this bar. That's kind of what's going on target wise. So like I said, when we came down initially, we did have a little reversal here but that was just a temporary 2 days up. It didn't turn the weekly chart up as I described, and then we had the 2 down. So this was the great sell bar right here. And at that point, you're targeting the weekly low here, that bigger picture weekly low I talked about, and that's why price came boom, boom, boom. When it hit this target, okay, at that point, you say, okay, we broadened out on the weekly, maybe we'll reverse up. But you can see here, price never on the daily chart gave a reversal type of buy. And at that point, you go to the monthly chart, and that's where we've kind of been at. The monthly chart then has a target, once we're breaking through, of down here, I'm sorry. What I meant was the monthly target was also the same as the weekly target. And that's why we were really going to head down here pretty comfortably, because at the time it was both a weekly and monthly target when the weekly chart couldn't turn up over here. So anyway, we sliced through that. And this is the time where you might have expected a reversal on the monthly. You've already broadened out the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Now you might reverse. And boom, once it didn't slice on through there, once it didn't reverse through at that point and it sliced on through, then you're looking for the next target, which happens to be this blue line. It's actually the next monthly target in play over here, which is in line with the quarterly target. And that's why price, once it couldn't reverse at the second blue line, it was heading down to the quarterly. It was going to broaden out all the way to the quarterly. And that's what happened today when you finally got that opening flush. It moved below there, and there's actually this little bar before it, and now we reversed up. So the question is, this could be the final flush in terms of broadening out on the large time frame. Now we're going to start up, or at least be inside of this bar in a big trading range for a while, and we'll see. You know, it might be a quarterly thing where we spend 3 months in here before we eventually start up again. We'll have to just see. But I don't think we're going to go to the next time frame, which is the yearly. And the yearly time frame shows to broaden out down there, you got to go all the way down here. And we're not even near the halfway point of that bar yet. So unless you really break down here, then this whole year can be in trouble. But for now, it's just we broadened out on the daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. And now you have a big daily reversal bar. So this could be all that it is. And now with all this, these stops in place and all these people who have gotten short that could be, you know, get caught on the wrong side if price continues up. It's going to be interesting to see what develops. I certainly think for now we're going to get upside to at least the first few daily targets. Then we go to the weekly chart and we see if this eventually can close the week green with a reversal bar. We still have 4 days to go. So we want to see a nice green bar form. We'll have to, you know, it's going to take 4 days. But if everything works well, we could rally up tomorrow, the next day, and really have a big green bar. And then once you get a 2 up on the green bar, you'll be targeting here. And then at that point, you're back to the monthly chart, just seeing where you're at. We'll go into February at that point. I'll assume it'll almost look like a big buying tail at the end of January. If we close somewhere up here next week in January, it's going to look like kind of a fake, you know, move down on the monthly chart, and maybe we're looking for a 2 up into February. You never know. But we'll start going from there. But for now, just wanted to show you how it all came together, why this whole move down here was actually pretty predictable once everything was aligning, the weekly and monthly charts aligned here. And then when that broke and didn't even reverse, you were coming down to the next monthly bar, which happened to be the quarterly bar, and now you finally got the reversal. So again, looking forward to buying tomorrow and then really seeing where this rally wants to go. Want to check out how that weekly chart eventually ends the week. If it ends strong, then you'll expect follow through next week, and that could lead up to this target up here and so on. So, you know, real interesting day today. Kind of expected once you were breaking down past a quarterly target with about 8 days in a row, 7 days of just down, 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 down. That's exhaustion risk, you know, in any case, but it happened to also align with exactly where price should have brought in before starting higher. So that's the SPY. We'll see what happens in the days ahead.